Hey Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. Today, let's take a troll, or a stroll, I should say, down through all for one, or all will be one, or all is one, or something's one. Anyway, uh, for the Phyrexian set, who do we think will be completed? Plus, a couple pieces of artwork that came out that's really going to let us know who is or isn't going to be completed. We're going to get more of that as we get spoilers. So in here, I like to give you my ideas from what I've seen so far, plus any information I may have about whether or not they're going to be completed. So without further ado, let's get started. But don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate the support. So to start off with, we have several planeswalkers. Here's one we didn't think about. Here's a picture of Tibalt, which was put up on the Magic the Gathering site, took down very quickly, and then put back up again. So you guys have probably seen it by now. This is Tyvar, the elf planeswalker. This clearly is Tibalt, and as you can see, he's got metal on him everywhere, which means it looks like Tibalt is going to be a completed planeswalker. Which is interesting because I don't think he was in the top 10 that we talked about of completed planeswalkers. They talked about a lot of planeswalkers dying. Um, I think they talked about 5 completed planeswalkers that are, let's say, more prominent, who would probably die during this. Not to mention other planeswalkers as well. I mean, not saying good guys can't die, right? Just there's 5 completed ones who are obviously going to have to be killed for the storyline to continue, probably. But so this is a very interesting one because Tibalt was not on the original list. Tyvar was, but Tibalt was not. So it's very interesting to see Tibalt completed as it was, unless this is a mistake and this is from March of the Machines, which that's a lot of forward foreshadowing. So I don't think they would do that. So with that said, to give you guys a recap, here are the 10 planeswalkers they talked about. They actually talked about Jace, Sato, um, I forgot her name, Koth, the guy from Ikoria, Wanderer, Vraska, just saw Tyvar, Nissa, Nahiri. Um, these are the 10, and they said 5 of these 10 are going to be completed. And we've had a lot of, let's say, hints about who is going to be completed. Um, so with that being said, let's first talk about some of the data that we've seen that may, let's say, point to the fact that they will be completed. So first off, what we have is here are an example of 3 completed planeswalkers of the 10. And as you can see, this is obviously somebody from Wizards of the Coast because they have a Phyrexian symbol right here. Well, you can't really see it on my screen, but down here there's a Phyrexian symbol on his nail. So you have Jace, the Perfected Mind, which means he's completed. You can see it there. Vraska, Betrayal Sting, also completed. And Nissa, Ascended Amunis, which is also completed. So out of the 10, here's already 3 that we know of. Um, and with that being said, one of the things that we realize in the text of one of the cards that's been spoiled, Phyrexian Arena, it shows Vraska fighting Jace, and Vraska getting the upper hand on Jace, which means he may be completed because of that. We already know that Tamiyo and Ajani have been completed, which is interesting in itself. So with that, let's take a look at the 10 Planeswalkers individually, what their completed cards look like, and whether or not they will be completed. So here we have the Wanderer. Here's a example of what they think the completed artwork will look like. Now, there's one of these for everybody, so we can't just go off of the artwork. So why would the Wanderer be completed? Well, they've already completed a Johnny. They killed off Gideon already, leaving her as the lone planeswalker, other than the one from Amonkhet, which is Baraset, which no one's really into. Um, do I think they will complete her? I think they will. Um, Only because she hasn't been around very long. The one card she got, well, technically 2, she had an uncommon one, was really powerful. And they may want to get rid of her because don't forget, Elspeth is still out here somewhere, and I expect her to show up to fight the Phyrexians. If you guys don't remember, um, Elspeth is from what used to be Phyrexia. They took over, she escaped, and I think it would be, let's just say, storyline suicide to have her have after all that she's been through, life, death, killing gods, escaping the Phyrexians, yada yada yada, to have her be completed and killed would be very anticlimactic, and I just think it'd be awful. Um, so I think it'd be easier to kill the Wanderer because some people don't like the card because they think it's too powerful. Not that Elspeth hasn't had powerful cards either, but she has worked her way into people's soft spot in their heart. So removing this mono white planeswalker to make room for Elspeth may be something that happens. So that's my reason I think completed. Next we have Vraska. Um, Obviously I'm gonna say completed. You can see the completed art here. It is awesome. The reason I'm gonna say completed is because we did get the spoiler from Phyrexian Arena showing her completed and her fighting Jace and her, I don't want to say killing Jace, but I guess winning the fight with Phyrexia, maybe killing him, so he can be completed coming later. So with that said, I think Vraska is going to be completed, which kind of sucks. I did like the Vraska Jace combo for a while. I mean, it's great to complete both of them so they can both die together. Um, but I was really hoping that Vraska and Jace would survive this. They've really grown on me. So Vraska completed. Next we have Tyvar. So Tyvar Kell was big on elves. He was very popular when he first came out, but then not so much afterwards. His completed artwork looks honestly dumb in my opinion. I mean, it's fine, but we could do better than that. Um, with that said, we already got a picture of him fighting Tibalt uncompleted. Now, it doesn't mean he won't be completed, as we'll talk about with Jace later, but I don't think he'll be completed um, for reasons of one, I think Nissa will be completed. We'll get about that later. Um, and we need a green planeswalker, and we just don't have him anymore. Now they could complete him to bring back Garruk, and I would love to see Garruk come back. I love Garruk. But he's been gone for a while, so we don't know what's going on. Also, there's not a lot of hate on this planeswalker, so I don't think they're gonna. Because honestly, I think a lot of the planeswalkers that are gonna be going are gonna be those who, for lack of a better term, have been the poster boys for a while, so we can get something new, so we can kind of shake up the formats or the storyline. So Tyvar Kell survives, or at least not completed. Next, Nissa. So we seen a picture. We seen a picture of the completed artwork on a card. Obviously, I think because of that, Nissa will be completed. Also, she's had a real good run. People do like her, but at the same time, most of her cards have always been overpowering. Um, and I think it's time that, like I mentioned with the Green Planeswalker, we don't need so many. I would like to see. I think many people would like Garruk to come back as the Green Planeswalker because I don't know, he's just really cool. And as cool as Nissa is, I just don't think it goes back to the whole getting rid of the old guard. And with Nissa being part of the old guard, I think Nissa obviously is going to be completed. Next, Nahiri. I don't think Nahiri is going to be completed. She's been in and out of the formats. Um, doesn't have a whole lot going on. I don't think she's going to be completed, at least in this set. She may be completed in the next one. I think it really revolves around whether or not Sorin comes in because of their hatred to each other. She may turn and get completed, if nothing else, to try to kill Sorin. But that's yet to be seen. But as of right now, I think Nahiri will not be completed. Therefore, I think she will survive. Also, she is one of the ancient planeswalkers from back in the day, who hasn't got a lot of love like Sorin, and is not a poster boy. So therefore, she'll survive to become the new poster boys or girls, whatever. Anyway, so survives. Next, Luca. Um, Luca is very devious. As much as he seems to be a good guy, he's also an ass butt during the storyline. So I think it'd be very easy for him to be corrupted and completed. Just because he has dubious intentions of a lot of things that he does, and he uses people. Like in Ikoria, he used the monsters. He didn't like them. He used them because he had to. He even killed one. or a couple or whatever, I think it would be very easy for them to complete him, playing on his more villainous side of the anti-hero, and I think Luca will be completed. And when he's dead, I'm not gonna cry about it. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Koth, Fire Resistance. I do not think Koth will be completed. He has been standing against the Phyrexians for so long, um, and has not had as much airtime as the rest of them. I think it'll be his time to shine as the Red Planeswalker if they do not complete him. So I think also, him being the leader of the Rebel Resistance, like I said, for so long, I think he will not be completed. Next, we have Kaya the Exorable. It shows her here completed. I think she will be completed only because she has got a lot of Planeswalker cards these last couple times. None of them great. She hasn't been too good in the story. Um, like very lackluster to the point where it might be a good time to just get rid of her and use somebody else in her place, no matter who that person is. So based on that, I would basically say that Kaya will be completed, and it will be the end of Kaya. Next, Kato Shizuki. My first thing, they're not going to complete him because this art is awful. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not joking about the art. But anyway, he's not going to be completed because he is what led Neon Dynasty from a storyboard kind of standpoint through the story arc. He's one of the main characters. People do like him. They don't think he's too overpowered. They don't think he's too underpowered. He is annoying to play against, but at the same time, not terrible. So I think he has the right place in the hearts to become maybe one of those new bluish, blackish planeswalkers that's going to stick around and not be completed. Because people do like him. I'm not going to lie. I like him. I only like playing him, but I still like him. Finally, Jace. We've seen the card showing that Jace is going to be completed. I believe Jace will be completed even without the card, only because Jace has been the poster boy of Magic for so long. Everybody hates him for some reason. I like Jace. I hate how they play out his story. I'd rather see him go out in a blaze of glory than them keep screwing him over with storylines of silliness. I always thought Jace should have been one of the most powerful planeswalkers due to his abilities, but he always seems to be story told as a 5-year-old, trying to get daddy's permission, chasing the girl that he likes, while other girls chase him. It's really weird what they've done to Jace. They could have done so much more with him, and it's just awful. It's just terrible what they've done with this guy. He had so much potential. Not to mention, like I mentioned in Phyrexian Arena, we show Vraska getting a hold of him in the text. Um, so I think Vraska will defeat him in the arena because I think he does have feelings for her, even though he really wanted someone else. But anyway, that's why I really want them to get together. So if she is completed, I think he will be as well for his weakness for her. And then together, maybe they'll be the evil planeswalkers moving forward, which would be really cool if they didn't die, even though they're completed, and then move forward as the next Nicol Bolas slash Liliana combo. I think that would be cool. So, with that being said, guys, those are my opinions on who's going to be completed, who's not going to be completed. I think at the end of the day, we need to realize that most of the known planeswalkers that we've seen, year after year after year, are going to be removed to open up for new story arcs and new people to fill in for them. Also, not to mention, with Teferi being in, he's a very popular blue mage in several ways, shapes, and forms, and has really taken over what Jace used to be, unfortunately. And they done with Teferi what I honestly think they should have done with Jace. But it is what it is. Uh, I think what this does is open up the world for some better storytelling with other planeswalkers we don't see enough of. Like I mentioned before, Garruk. I love Sarkhan. I thought he was great in the Tarkir arc. Tyvar Kell. I like to see Oko come back, which we know he is coming back. There's lots of other planeswalkers that deserve some time in the sun. If they're not going to make these planeswalkers, they talk about how great they are, but they struggle so much to do some things that it almost makes them feel like they're not up to the challenge. So there you have it, guys. That's my thoughts. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. And for those of you who stuck around to the end, I should be getting my boxes in today or tomorrow, open up a few boxes before we start seeing some spoilers. Boy, wouldn't that be nice. That's Dominator Remastered, by the way. Later, playa.